Well, in the few minutes we have left, we'd like to answer some of the questions that you've sent us via email. Pat, this first one's from Amanda, who says, I'm a Christian woman and I often sense things for no apparent reason and then they come true. They often come as feelings about people, but they don't seem biblically prophetic. Is this a word of knowledge from the Lord, discernment, or something like ESP? How can I know the difference?
Oh, I don't know that you need to know the difference. I think there's what's called the word of wisdom that gives us an insight into the future. There's something called discerning spirits where you can discern what's going on in somebody's heart. Angels, demons, and so forth. I don't know exactly what's happening to you, but if you're a Christian and you serve God, I don't think there's anything wrong with the fact that God's giving you some insight into future events. I mean, it's He did to the prophets in the Old and New Testament. Why not now?
Ask him how to use them.
Amen.
This is Linda, who says, Pat, my friend was married for 30 years and then her husband left her. That was 3 years ago and they're still not legally divorced. She just keeps hanging on and I get to hear about it every day. This is beginning to wear on me. I've given her time, money, and my listening ear, but I'm feeling used and abused. What is my responsibility as a friend?
If you love her, you'll tell her to knock it off, and you'll sit down with her frankly and say, listen, you've either got to get back together with this guy, you've got to divorce him, but stop all this nonsense. You've got to get on with your life. And, you know, I want to love you, but I'm not going to sit there and be a garbage dump. And that's what's happening. She's dumping her garbage into you. And you've just got to stand up and say, but be honest. Talk to her.
Move on. This is Rachel, who says, Pat, I know someone who lied to receive benefits from the government. I confronted this person, but they said that the government is such a big entity that you're not actually hurting anyone, and since you're not hurting anyone, it's not wrong. Do you agree?
Heavens, no. You're stealing. Stealing is stealing. Lying is lying. And stealing from the government is a super no-no. I mean, you
get caught.
you get another kind of suit with those nice stripes on it for about 10 years. You know, this is nonsense. This is self-deception. The government's so big it won't miss it. Yeah, sure. Well,
this is a quick one. Tricia says, how should I deal with family members when they curse in front of my 5-year-old daughter? My husband and I want to protect her from hearing this negative language.
Take them aside and say, listen, my little girl has never heard language like that and I don't want her to, and you just don't use that kind of language around her. Everybody knows you don't curse in front of little 5-year-olds. I mean, everybody knows that, and if they're that crude, then you ought to cut them off. But just say, look, I'm not going to stand for it. Just say, look, I'm going to stand for it. Period.